Give me the bat, Wendy. And welcome to Monster Man.
That's the best opening you're going to get out of me, ever. That came from the heart.
Wow. If people are still here...
In fact, my heart fluttered when I did that.
Your excuse.
That's what my wife says when I don't say excuse me.
So I was doing a bad Jack Torrance right there.
I forgot to put on my hat. Whatever.
Give me the hat, Wendy.
Stay away from me. Stay away from me.
So why was I referencing The Shining?
Because we're going to talk about Stephen King today, brother. Stephen King, who I briefly walked past in a barbershop in Maine. I forget who got this for me. My mother? My sister? Anyway, it's Entertainment Weekly put out the collector's edition to The Ultimate Guide to Stephen King.
Ooh.
We are long overdue to talk about this guy. The Stand. I have this. I read every few years. The Stand.
Holy moly.
Extended version. Yeah, it's tremendous. You could probably read it in 4 days.
This would take me 4 years. The Gun Quit.
It's amazing.
I saw the Village People in The Gun Quit.
Did you?
Leslie Gore. It was like a show. A bunch of.
Oh my God.
Who's the guy? Lightning Strikes. Lou Christie.
That might be horror right there. But anyway, Stephen King inspired me as a young lad reading his Night Shift collection. And it has not stopped since, and I'm currently reading right here, The Outsider, which it looks really big, but it's only 500 pages.
Only?
They're intentionally doing this to make it look Kingian.
Kingian. So you've read way more Stephen King than I, and you've probably seen way more Stephen King movies than I.
I'll guarantee we've probably seen the same amount.
I don't know.
I'll guarantee.
I'll tell you this, the first Stephen King book I ever read is still one of my favorites, is Pet Sematary.
Pet Sematary. Is that your favorite Stephen King movie?
No.
It's not?
No, The Shining is probably my favorite.
Oh, okay. The Shining's your favorite. All right. It's funny. I was doing a book signing in Bridgeton, Maine, where Stephen King lived and wrote for many years, and still goes there. That's the barbershop I ran into. So I was doing this book signing, and I was by the register, and I couldn't see around it. And I hear a guy go, "I'm looking for a book for my mother, and it's a mystery, written by a fella, I don't know his name." And he starts explaining this book, and I'm going, holy crap, it's Pet Sematary, dude. And I look up,
Fred Gwynne?
He had overalls on, and he had the trucker cap. It wasn't him, but it was, it just really, it made you realize how true to the essence
how well cast that was.
Yeah, I mean, it was just amazing. And he looked at me and just looked away. He was looking for a mystery, so he didn't care.
So we'll just dive right in, because I would think my favorite two Stephen King movies are The Shining and Salem's Lot. Salem's Lot's a made-for-TV movie.
Yes.
David Soul, that I love. I also love having it on DVD so that I can skip parts and get to the good parts.
That's bad, though. When you have a movie that you want to skip parts.
But that's because you've seen it so many times.
Well, it's a miniseries, too.
It was a miniseries. It was a 2-night thing.
Yeah.
But the vampire parts are so great.
Barlow.
That, again, when they said they were going to remake Salem's Lot, I said, that's a great movie to remake, because it could use
as a movie. I would like to see it as a movie.
And then they just fumbled the ball so bad that I'm still like, like what they're remaking every Stephen King thing because of it.
Yes.
So it wouldn't surprise me if we get a big screen Salem's Lot. And the one thing that movie did right, the miniseries, was they left things out from the book. They edited.
You have to.
You have to.
I mean, read the book. That book wouldn't even get a deal today.
I love the book, but yeah, it's really long. But again,
it's just a lot of dead pacing in the beginning.
And the thing is, again, what I love about it though is the good parts are so good.
Right.
Then so when you read it,
it would be a 300-page book that would be punched up, and they'd be like, Stephen, get rid of 200 pages of exposition and just get to the heart of the story.
So I love those two. And then The Shining is just...
Who would you love to see do Salem's Lot? Or like a Blumhouse, if they got a hold of it with that? Or do you think they're too ghosty to do something like that?
I wouldn't want to see an overly CG. What do you think?
Like, you know how you love The Shining? Now that was by Kubrick, who was hardcore director, lots of experience. I wonder how this is crazy. This is totally off the wall. Clint Eastwood doing Salem's Lot.
Because he's really good character movies.
Character movies. He uses natural lighting, so he's not. There's nothing really artificial in his movies. I'd love to see his version of that. It'll never happen, but
no. No, but maybe like what's the guy who did like Kick-Ass?
Who directed Kick-Ass?
Yeah.
Oh God, I don't remember.
He did like the X-Men movie, the First Class.
Oh, Singer?
No, not Bryan Singer. It's like Mark Millar or Mark Miller or something like that. Or,
Okay.
I don't know. Some of those guys. I don't know.
I'd want to see someone with gravitas take that on and give us a nice, clean 2-hour Salem's Lot. I think that would be awesome.
Just don't Conjuring it where it's
No.
over the top.
Or don't it. Which I thought the It was ridiculous.
Yes. So,
I will see the next movie, but I'm not looking forward to the next movie.
but like The Shining, leave it alone.
Well, they didn't leave it alone because they had Mick Garris do the TV miniseries,
Yeah,
which made you realize how good Stanley Kubrick was able to reimagine that story.
Salem's Lot. Pet Semetary. I think it's a pretty good movie. Way better book, and they're remaking that, and I actually think it's a good movie to remake because I think they could do better than.
They could do better?
Sometimes Dead is better.
Sometimes remakes are better.
But there's so many bad Stephen King movies that Pet Sematary is one of the best ones.
Yes.
But it's more like nostalgically.
It creeps people out. If you have children, you worry about your children dying just walking across the street. Zelda scares the crap out of you. Anything with little kids, even little kids scare the crap out of me.
If you did that with a better cast, though.
Yeah.
Like that was more like a TV movie cast.
Yeah, I agree. Although the phrase that my family has taken out of it with lots of, and for no reason whatsoever, would just go, church smells bad. Even though we have 2 cats that smell quite lovely. But we'll look at them and go, church smells bad.
What'd you think of Cujo?
I love Cujo. I think Cujo's a great movie. In fact, the guys who do Inside The Exorcist, Inside Jaws, they should do Inside Cujo.
Oh.
That wasn't a very easy movie to shoot, especially the scenes where Dee Wallace is trapped inside the car with her son. That movie gets better with age. Every time subsequent watching, I love that movie even more.
That movie's never on either.
No, you can't find like Cujo, The Dead Zone, Firestarter. Like there's that period of time in the early '80s. Those movies are not on rotation.
The Dead Zone's another one of the best ones.
It's Christopher Walken, first of all.
That watches your birthright.
Boom. I used to watch the TV show, and I did not like the TV show.
I watched like one of them.
But I love the movie.
I want to rewatch it because it's been so long.
Yeah.
But I just remember being like, oh, whoa.
Well, you can get it on Amazon.
So the other, if you're going to go like with your top 5, the other one that's kind of a Stephen King movie is Stand By Me.
Well, not kinda. It
is, but like
it's not straight up horror.
It's not straight up horror, but I mean that and Shawshank Redemption are both based on Stephen King.
I was just talking to someone who said that that's probably in his mind that's the best movie ever made.
A lot of those like top 100 movies of all time, it's now starting to appear as the #1 movie.
You know what's funny? I've only seen it once when it came out. I haven't watched it.
I've probably seen it 2 or 3 times in its entirety and then pieces of it. I think it's a great movie. I don't think it's the #1 movie of all time, but I can see it being in the conversation because so many people love it.
I mean, it's a great movie. It's funny because Stephen King, it's a flash of what we get now. Because I think Stephen King now has entered a whole other realm of writing. His Mr. Mercedes and the Bill Hodges trilogy and what he's doing with The Outsider, it goes beyond horror. It still has its foot in horror. Nobody's ever done what he's doing right now at age 70, and I'm just my hat's off.
What's The Outsider about?
It's about a small child who was found murdered and raped.
Oh.
And they do the DNA, they do testing and everything, and they find out that it's the local celebrity who is the Little League coach and does all the kinds of sports, and they say that he's the one who did it. But there's also, during the time he was supposed to do it, there's an alibi where he was in another city seeing Harlan Coben at a signing. So it's just unbelievable. It's a police procedural. There's a lot of law stuff in there. So he's just, the JFK book that he did is one of the best books I've ever read in my life.
See, I haven't read any of those.
Oh God, you have to. I'll lend you the JFK book. You got to read it. I'll talk to you next year when you're done with it. It's phenomenal.
So, what about Stand By Me? See, I like Stand By Me more than I like The Shawshank Redemption. Stand By Me is one of my favorite movies.
I can watch Stand By Me more, only because it's more uplifting, I guess. Shawshank is just, it's dark and it's deep. So that's not one where I'm like, oh, just gonna Shawshank this sucker tonight. No, it's not gonna happen. My favorite Stephen King movie is Misery.
See,
not a shock. Right, horror writer.
See, that's in that, like, there's like the top 10 that are all like...
Yeah. We saw that movie on Christmas Day when it came out, because we had nothing better to do.
I'll put on my Liberace records.
And by the way, Audra, who is a fan and a friend, I call her Annie all the time. So she's my Annie. And I think anybody who writes, especially if you write horror, if that's not one of your favorites, I don't know what's wrong with you.
And that is one of the greatest scenes in movie history.
Hobbling? Horrible. Absolutely horrible. In fact, I think they did the hobbling better in the movie than they did in the book. Because it was changed a little bit.
You know what's not I wouldn't call it a great movie, but I had fun with it, is one of the lesser known, The Night Flyer, which is this movie about a vampire that's on a plane.
Oh yeah!
And it's like
nobody talks about that movie.
That's one of those ones that, like, me and my friend Kevin up in Boston, we both watch it and we're like, you know, we should hate this movie, but it's kind of fun.
I gotta watch it again because I don't remember it being fun.
Look, if I watch it now, I might be like, oh, it hasn't aged well because it was cheesy back then.
Did you ever see the Tommyknockers miniseries?
I think I saw part of it and I lost interest.
I read the book. I was kind of puzzled.
Oh, I forgot about this one.
Oh, we're going to bring this one up. And I saw the miniseries kind of like, Jonathan Janz, it was the first Stephen King book he ever read, was Tommyknockers. So he has a different take on it. Like, by the time he read Tommyknockers, I had read everything that King had written. So he loves that book because it's his first, because you never forget your first. Oh, I've forgotten mine. So he has an affinity for it, but even Stephen King will say that's the worst book he ever wrote. And the miniseries isn't that good either.
Well, Pet Semetary is like one of the only books I've ever read that scared might not be the right word because I don't know if I've ever been really scared, but it was definitely the most unnerved I've ever been reading a book.
Yeah, no, I was unnerved too reading that book, and I was hardened back then, and that book still got me.
Yeah,
I gotta reread that. Here's one that we all agree on. This is just a story, The Mist. The movie, not the TV series.
Yeah, I didn't even see the TV series.
Because The Mist is set in Bridgeton, Maine, where I've been going all my life. And it's funny because there was a writer who went there, and he goes, I'm in the market where The Mist took place. I'm like, no, you're not. That market didn't exist then. It's the place that's now like the quarry place over there. So I totally shit all over him.
So The Mist is famous for its kick in the nuts ending.
Oh, The Mist, I think, would be considered one of the better horror movies ever made, if not for two things: bad CGI and that ending. Because I don't think people can handle that ending.
I think the ending, though, is what makes it a legendary movie.
To us.
I think it's a forgettable movie if that ending doesn't happen.
To the normies, I don't think that ending flies at all. Because it's dark. It's deep.
But to horror fans, that's what makes it an all-time.
Yes.
Because really, I don't really give a crap about the first 2/3 of that movie.
I still love the first 2/3.
It's okay.
You know what? It's because I knew where it was, and I was living through that. It's got half the cast of The Walking Dead because Frank Darabont directed it. But I think that's one of the...
it's a great movie. I like the first 2/3, but that's another one that, like, if I'm coming in at the beginning, I might go surf and go somewhere else and come back. But if I know I'm in the home stretch,
What do you think of Carrie?
Carrie, I remember it. I don't know if it was the first time it was on TV, but I was pretty young.
Plug it up, plug it up.
The scene at the end where the hand comes out of the ground, scared the hell out of me.
Did it?
Yeah.
Which is, if you read the book, it's such a financial compromise. Like the remake with Chloe Grace Moretz,
which I didn't see.
More gets in tune with, because she destroys the town, but the original, I think, is a better ending. Because, I don't know, it doesn't play well on the screen for some reason.
To be honest, I haven't seen Carrie in so long that I just remember John Travolta's in it. And
briefly. So is, what's her face from Halloween? The girl says, get me a beer.
Yeah.
She'll get me a beer. She's one of the bad girls.
So it's always a classic, but I haven't seen it in so long that I have fond memories of Carrie, but I also remember Carrie as being kind of a slow movie with a few good parts in it.
Oh, it's more than that.
But as a kid, like
yeah. It's as an adult, it's way more than that. As I'm going through here,
what did you think of the original It miniseries?
I did not like it. I've said this time and time again. I do not like the source material, so I'm not going to like anything you produce out of it.
So when the hell did It come out? Like 1990 something.
The book?
The movie.
Oh, the movie was in the 90s. The book was in the 80s. I was in college.
I remember watching the miniseries at a friend's house. Like we were either in college, we were just out of college, but all living near each other. It was like early 20s, whatever.
Right.
Having a great time. And somebody, like, both nights we went over and watched. And Pennywise was so awesome. It was we felt it was like kind of like a cheesy made-for-TV movie with some really great parts in it.
Yes.
Pennywise was so great, and we thought that the parts with the kids was really great, and the parts with the adults was really cheesy. And then the ending with
which we might get now.
Yeah. And then the ending with the big spider was laughable.
Yeah.
Now I've said this before on our other podcast. I saw the new It, and I'm like, okay, better special effects. The kids are pretty good. I don't think Pennywise is scary. I don't think
clowns are scary.
I thought Tim Curry was great because he taunted the kids and he teased them, and he was much more terrifying. He's like, hey, you know.
He wasn't, because he was more grounded in reality. Like, this clown is off the charts, just crazy.
Yeah. So I thought, like, if you could take the older movie and polish it up with modern special effects, and maybe like the adult cast from his new one.
Right.
It's John Boy Walton and the guy from Night Court and Venus Flytrap.
Tim Reed. Yeah.
John Ritter.
Yeah, that's right, John Ritter. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big It fan. I never will be.
I just thought Tim Curry was spectacular as Pennywise.
Like, as precious as this book is, and just perfect, It, to me, is completely a cokehead ramble.
I never read either one. So wait, which one is this? The Stand?
This is The Stand, yeah.
So The Stand was the one with the Rob Lowe.
The miniseries?
Miniseries, Gary Sinise.
Started watching. Finished.
Yeah, I remember we went to rent. My old roommate rented it. Comes home and I'm like, dude, that's like a 6-hour thing.
If you did The Stand, if HBO or Netflix did it, I think it could be great if you got the right people in charge of it. But I don't know. I know we both love Gerald's Game, which to me would be one of his hardest books to just adapt to a movie, because it's a strange book. And I loved this book until I reread it before it came out. I was like, oh, this book kind of halfway sucks. because King said it's a short story idea that he just expanded into a novel, and the expansion is a lot of internal dialogue and thought. And I'm like, man, I don't know how that's going to translate to a movie. But then Carla Gugino, they put her in it, and so we were like, okay, we'll watch it. I don't care what's in there.
Not only does she look great, but she crushes that.
Yeah, no, that's such a good movie. That degloving scene is just think what he's given us. He's given us hobbling and degloving. It's the most horrific scenes ever.
So if you think about that, every one of these movies we're talking about, like Salem's Lot has the kid at the window. Yeah. So that gave people nightmares forever. You got
The Shining.
The Shining's got
the axe through the door.
Yeah, I mean Red Rum. There's so much iconic stuff. The Mist has that ending.
Yep.
Cujo is the Jaws of Dogs.
Carrie at the prom.
Carrie the Pig's Blood. How many great Halloween costumes? The degloving is Gerald Gaines' thing.
Is that I Am McGlovin? I am deglovin.
Hamburger Helper.
Yeah. As I think people like to crap on Stephen King movies a lot, but there have been a lot of really good ones. And some I haven't watched yet, like Delores Claiborne.
Alright, so I read Delores Claiborne and I saw the movie, and I don't remember anything about either one of them.
Is that Jennifer Jason Leigh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched that yet.
I read it 20 years ago. So I don't remember a thing about it. I remember dust bunnies being a thing.
I loved 1408 with John Cusack.
I did not like that, but I'd have to see it again and see if I...
It's really over the top, but I think he pulls it off.
I think I saw it in the theater and I walked out like pissed off. But But again, I don't remember anything about it.
You know, enjoyment of a movie all depends on how much money you've spent to see the movie. If you watch it at home, it's way different.
What's the other one on Netflix now? It's like 1922 or something like that? Or?
Oh, yeah, that was really good.
I haven't seen that. I heard
it's dark as hell, man. But it's so good.
Christine. With the kid from Back to School.
Here's a little inside joke here in my family. I'm not a fan of the movie Christine, and for a period of time my wife would keep buying me the DVD of it as a joke, and she hates Phantasm, and we wouldn't even discuss this beforehand. Like every Christmas, here's another copy of Phantasm. Oh, another copy of Christine. And we would literally throw them in the garbage when we were done. But I was just watching it recently on cable, and I was like, I guess Christine isn't as bad as I thought. But I don't know, I had this I like the book, but I had this aversion to the movie in the 80s.
The kid who played Rodney Dangerfield's son from Back to School.
Yes.
They were like, how does this guy keep getting leading man parts?
And how is he? How are they going to try to make him look cool after he's had this car for a while? But I don't know. I think I have to sit down and watch it again. As much as I don't want to, I will reread the book in a second. What about Children of the Corn? There's like 9 of those.
Malachi.
He walks between the rows.
So, my fond memory of Children of the Corn is when I was in high school, we had like a youth group kind of thing. And I remember we watched that, like I brought it as like we were watching a movie on like a Friday night, like Ferris Bueller's Day Off or something. And then I would bring a horror movie, and some people would leave and some people would stay. Mm-hmm. So this girl, Sandy, who hated horror movies, was watching it and like just hating me. And then at one point I was sitting next to her and I just go, Malachi. And she just turned around and punched me as hard as she could. Just stop that!
Like she was scared?
Yeah.
A lot of people get scared by that movie. I don't understand.
Yeah, meanwhile I'm like, this movie sucks.
So stupid. And there's a bunch of them. It's like, I swear to God, it's Children of the Corn Part 9.
Yeah.
I don't get it. But whatever. He entertains us.
What did you think of Firestarter?
Look, I haven't seen Firestarter in 25 years.
Yeah, neither have I.
But I thought it was very good when I saw it.
So George C. Scott was in that, right?
Yes, and little Drew Barrymore.
What about The Green Mile?
I didn't like it.
So
I know a lot of people love it.
I read that. My friend would read them and then give them to me, and I would read them.
Right.
And I thought it was better presented to be that way, because I don't know if I would have been crazy about that book if I read it in one sitting.
Right.
But getting it in installments. And I thought the movie was just okay. It was kind of just curious to see how they were going to.
I don't know. People absolutely adore that movie. I'm just not one of them, but it doesn't matter.
I didn't hate it. I just thought it was okay.
Right, exactly.
But I forgot about it until I saw this magazine. So now I want to look and see what we're forgetting.
By the way, Stephen King craps all over Kubrick's version of The Shining now, but you can go on YouTube and find him waxing poetic about it back in the day. I understand he was trying to promote the movie and stuff, so you're not always telling the truth when you're doing that.
The little kid who played Gage was awesome in Pet Semetary.
He's straight up in
He was also in one of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies.
Was he?
He was in like the last one.
Oh, I had bailed by then.
Kiefer Sutherland is the bully in Stand By Me.
Mm-hmm.
One of the great evil Kiefer Sutherland.
Dick.
Like, you want to see a guy who could play a great dick? Think of Kiefer Sutherland in Lost Boys, A Few Good Men, and
Jerk.
Yeah, just like scumbag. But that was like the.
And as a kid, I hope he
like,
grows up to be an alcoholic.
He's like a bully, but like a dangerous bully.
Yeah.
And so
Stephen King's bullies can all potentially kill you.
Like, so in the new It, they have like a very dangerous bully.
Oh,
and I'm like, this role was dying for Kiefer Sutherland. Yeah. He would have brought gravitas to it.
Way too old now.
The remake of The Shining with Rebecca De Mornay, terrible.
Yeah, and Steven Weber. And the Campbell Soup Kid. That wasn't a good choice.
I'm cheating now. Tommyknockers, I don't remember.
By the way, you all know this is a skull of a red fox.
Creepshow. Creepshow 2.
Creepshow 2 had, oh, we got it over here. I think that had The Raft, which is great.
Is that... What's the one where he's like got his moss growing on him?
Oh, Jordy Verrill. That's the first one where the meteor crashes and he gets covered in grass.
That's actually Stephen King.
Yes.
Did you ever watch Under the Dome?
I never watched Under the Dome, but I loved the book. Like, the book is like 1,500 pages or whatever, and I love that book.
Is the Simpsons movie about when the dome goes over?
Yes.
So that was enough for me. I never saw Carrie 2. Sleepwalkers.
Sleepwalkers, Mick Garris.
And the chick,
Santos and Johnny, and Match and Amick.
Alice Creech, is that her name?
The blonde?
Yeah, she was the Borg chick in Star Trek.
Yeah, that's
First
a good
Contact.
movie.
That was on like HBO or one of the cable channels every day for like a year.
We could do a whole episode on movies, Stephen King movies that Mick Garris has done. We could do a whole episode on that.
They turn into like cat vampires or something.
Yeah, that's a good movie. But that plays Santos and Johnny.
And then one of my favorite trucks in the world, the Green Goblin truck from Maximum Overdrive.
That movie's terrible. Absolutely terrible. But
Mangler.
Mangler's not as bad. It's a great name.
A laundry machine that kills people.
The movie doesn't live up to the name, but
Robert Englund and Ted Levine. I'm cheating now. I'm just going through the book.
You can cheat away.
It, The Mist, Tommyknockers I didn't see. Or
I think we've named a lot so far. See, there's a lot. You said you didn't think you watched a lot, but you have.
Yeah.
You have to. Growing up when we did, I mean, he was everywhere.
This comes in handy, because I forgot about The Green Mile.
Yeah. No, it's a good book. So.
And I don't think of Stand By Me as a Stephen King, whereas The Shining I think of Stephen King.
Because you think straight up horror is Stephen King. He can't do subtle horror or no horror, but he can. I can't wait to if they ever do Joyland as a movie, because that's my favorite book he ever wrote.
One of the great things about The Shining, that movie Room 2, whatever it is, 237.
That stupid documentary
is stupid, but
dumbest thing I've ever seen.
You can have a good time on YouTube watching videos about The Shining and theories and things like that. Like, there's a whole video about the bear guy. Like, if somebody just talking about
it's ridiculous.
But out of all the Stephen King movies, that's the most interesting one to delve into.
Only because you think maybe Kubrick could have been mad enough to think all this stuff, but I don't think he did. I think Kubrick was looking for the perfect shot and the perfect performance, and I don't think he was going so deep into this stuff. But whatever. If you ever wanted to like watch a documentary where you want to blow your brains out, watch that Room or whatever.
I got through like a half hour.
Oh, that's about as far as I got too. So there you go. All the Stephen King movies you could ever want to watch. Or not watch. Actually, we gave you pretty much the ones you want to watch.
Get busy living, get busy dying.
Sure, whatever. And come meet me up in Bridgeton. We'll go down to the Freiburg Fair this fall. All of us. Let's all meet up and talk about King and watch a friggin' ox pull.
We all float down here.
There's a lot of floating going on down there.
Open the window.
All right, are we done? Can we go drink now?
I hope you didn't miss this episode.
Jesus Christ.
All right,
Somebody
see you
shoot me.
next time on
Monster Men.